Feuer! Feuer! Well, hello there folks, and welcome to another Graviteam Tactics Mius front battle. We're here with the Grossdeutschland division, and we are defending Graviteam. If you look back in our Graviteam Tactics Mius front history, you'll see that recently we took Graviteam in quite an incredible offensive that shouldn't have worked out for us, but did. So, that being said, even our defense here is an unlikely event, so we're going to take it quite seriously. I'm going to put the AT guns right over here, just hoping that, of course, they'll eventually stop by and pay them a little visit here. That seems to be really the only open area that I can see. And then I'm going to take the Schaefer division. These guys, of course, did really well in that first battle, and put them right here in East Gorotic. Pretty much trying to get as many units behind the buildings as possible, but we also have a few units here, like I don't want them in front of hay barrels, they're not going to be as effective, but the hay barrel can actually provide them some really nice cover, and when you see that shovel icon, that essentially lets us know that they're going to be dug in. So these guys are going to be nicely dug in here in Gorotic. There's that other AT gun. I'm going to put this AT gun right up the road, so essentially, oh, wait a minute, how did that not work? Really? Wait a minute. So essentially, if anybody does come up the road, we'll be ready to fire at them. In fact, if I could take that frontal gun and put it here, I'd prefer it there. If not, then that's okay. We'll just accept that situation. I'm also going to try to keep most of my infantry here in these buildings, or behind these buildings in their trenches, because I think this is going to give us our best chance at fighting the Soviets. Now, I did keep some units over here looking that way, and I'll show you guys why. There's a possibility that the Soviets will attack from Tumulisis. It's unlikely, but it is a possibility. Alright, folks, well, without further ado, I think the only thing I still have to do is grab the rest of these guys, and what I'll probably actually do with them is keep them back here just as a precautionary measure. So I'm going to keep them over here in Gorotic East. I do want to take that AT gun, though, and put it up at the front if I can. Not that much at the front. And actually, I'll grab the rest of these guys. We've got a few more AT guns back here, and we're going to actually put them on the front line here at Gorotic. Alright, guys, well, oh, it looks like they popped up over here. Well, we're going to call this one, maybe we'll call it Operation Citadel, but not actually Operation Citadel. Operation German Citadel. Well, let's get started, guys. Without further ado, let's hope for the best. You can see the deployment is taking a little longer than usual because we have so many trenches to be dug here. But now our folks are ready. It's starting out very foggy out here. That doesn't typically bode well for the defender, because the enemy can approach very, very closely without us even noticing it. But let's hope that our boys do a good job. All glory to the Wehrmacht. Let's see how we do. And what did I tell you guys? Look at that. Just like I guessed, the contact is established right in front of our defenses. That's the thing about the fog. The enemy can get quite close. Although we got very lucky here, and they actually moved up with a bunch of these officers. And as you can see, look at this. We're actually just firing MP40 at quite a few Soviet officers over here, so we may have just ambushed most of their commanding group. But you can see the Soviets are getting right there. Our boys are right at the front lines, doing everything they can to defend against them. It looks like some of them, unfortunately, have been routed here, but not before throwing some beautiful Stellhandgranaten at the enemy. Well, now we know where the enemy is definitely attacking without a shadow of a doubt, so I'm actually tempted to bring some of these secondary guns, mortars, machine guns, etc., up to the front. So I'm actually going to move this guy over here, get him in the building. I'm going to do the same with this guy. I'm just going to go ahead and move him up here and, again, have him defend. I might also move over some additional infantry units, but I think for now we're doing sufficient, and hopefully these guys are going to be able to hold the area by themselves. I get a feeling that they can. Right.
Ich werde beschossen! Stellung aufgeben! Weiter Feuer!
Get back, boys, get back. Oh! Right, Munvel is actually throwing some smoke, but that might not be a good idea. We don't really need smoke here. There's a lot of Soviets throwing smoke, and this leads me to believe they are spread out all along the front line. We have a true major assault here. It's probably because they're so pissed that we actually took this city. We weren't really supposed to. It was pretty unlikely, but we were able to. So we really have dedicated most of our units over here. You know what? I'm going to take Yodel Take all of Jordan's men, actually. And I'm going to move him here, because I anticipate that most of the enemy attack, most of the enemy damage is going to be coming right up this area here. This lane. We'll call it a lane. It was. So yes, we are. Some of our boys are leaving trenches to accomplish this goal, but I think it's worth it. I don't expect them to actually show up over here. But you know what? Just for the warriors amongst you, I'm going to keep a few of these units back. So we'll still keep 2 or 3 of these groups back in the trench, just in case. But I really think that these guys are going to be much better off attacking the enemy over here. Oh boy, look at that. Enemy scout cars. That's not... I did not expect scout cars. Got enemy scout cars right here. Open up. Come on, boys. Come on. Did we stop him? Definitely hit the top. I think... No, the gunner's still alive. Unless is he... No, he's still alive. He's definitely not just standing there dead. He's absolutely there. Okay, for the Führer, we also don't want him to get over to Kopper and his men. This is one of our commanding officers, so that's a problem. And we've got a damn mortar here. Can't really do that well against enemies, so we're going to push the mortar back over here behind the line. Hopefully he can run in time. We've got a nice little fire going on here. Is it a burning enemy vehicle or... No, I don't think so. I think it's just our tracer rounds that have set a damn building on fire. Right, let's pay attention to this area here. We've also got some of our boys approaching from that larger group. So make sure that they have these guys selected. Hopefully Frazon can keep himself alive. Here we go, throwing the Stellhandgranate. Beautiful. Oh, that was nice. Another good shot there. They've done an excellent job at defending themselves. He's got that Luger pistol. We've also got a Kar 98, 2 Lugers and a Kar 98, doing a pretty good job here. Panzer. Now in this case, Panzer can mean tank, it can also mean armored car, and sure enough, look at that. We've got that armored car right in front of us. And I think we may have stopped him. Yeah! AT gun is getting some devastating hits here. I think we may just have stopped him. He may be dead, but we're not going to know unless we get closer through the fog of war. I'd rather just keep my distance. Let's get over here. Really close combat for Graviteam Tactics Mius front. There we go. The Soviet, they've definitely broken through. I wouldn't say our first line, but they've gotten into the town. Let's say that. Despite that initial ambush we got on them, they are now definitely in the town, and that's a cause for concern, no doubt. But look at this. We've got our infantry moving up from that area, so I think this was a good idea to actually push them up, get aggressive against the enemy, and oh my goodness! Man, our mortar team is just a beast. They are quite good. I guess it must be since they have 2 officers, they must be allocated some additional secondary equipment. Because they have so many grenades. Well. Here we go. This is exactly why we brought the guys over. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that machine gun. Absolutely beautiful, man. That thing is just a beast. It looks like they're also cautious about moving further into town over here, so even with the armored car, they've stopped right there. It could be that we disabled it. Not knocked it out, but made it not able to move. That's quite possible. But I think what's happening is they're just realizing they're not going to be able to get into town here. Now, there we go. Never mind. They've got another car showing up, another armored car. We are lighting this bad boy up, but unfortunately, they have taken out that anti-tank team. Although, look at that. Thank goodness, guys. Thanks to continuous fire by our men, that is a dead vehicle. Those guys, it's still driving, but everybody inside has been dealt with. Turn it into a smoking lounge for our boys. Okay, select him. And again, this mortar team has done more in close combat than a lot of our infantry teams have done, so I'm quite impressed. Here we go. The second armored car is moving forward. This likely means that second wave is approaching, but now we know we can pretty much deal with the armored cars without much issue. As long as we get one grenade in there, maybe even just light it up with a few too many rounds, we can wipe this thing out. Eventually one of those rounds is going to hit the gunner, and that's all she wrote. Alright, Monvel is being pushed here. Now, he's the guy we sent to actually stay in the Dacha here. And it looks like, yup, he's making contact. Leads me to believe there are probably some additional enemies arriving. But the good news is all of our Wehrmacht allies here have just gotten here. So now this area on the left is a little stronger after that monumental hold by the commanders. Just make sure they're not pushing over here. That's where we thought they might push, but no. They went for the straightforward approach. No pun intended. Literally the straightforward approach. Alright. Just select them. Come on, Goods. Come on, boys.
Lieber im Anmarsch. Die Russen kommen! Die Russen kommen! Da drüben!
Did we wipe another one out? I think so. These are armored vehicle. No, he's still alive. These armored vehicles are pretty light, though. I mean, it's quite easy to sort of pierce that armor. Don't need an anti-tank weapon. And look at this. Now with the additional resources here, any Soviet breaking past that wall is immediately vaporized. So hopefully we have secured that area for good. Totally forgot about these guys. We got like just a tiny group of communicators here, radio communicators, etc. Yeah, we could bring them to the battle. I'm going to order them to fast move here. They probably won't arrive here for this fight, but who knows? Come on, boys. Have them face the enemy. So this MG looks to be in a bad place. The reason being, it doesn't look like we can actually switch his trajectory. And if that's the case, there we go. If it was the case, it would mean he's in a bad spot. We need to move him. As is, I still think he could actually kill some crew inside that vehicle. We don't even get to see the action over here because the second the Soviets step into this area, it's just instant kill. I love that. If we had set up the very front of our lines like that, they probably would have never even gotten into the city. Well, maybe they would have. Maybe they would have eventually broken through. What do you guys think? If we had that same grouping at the start of the battle, this thick grouping on the left, would we even have Soviets in the city? I don't know. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Yup, MG is firing. And come on, those MG rounds have got to go through that, or at least get lucky. It might be that we actually need an infantry unit because they've got the Stellhandgranate. The Stellhandgranate can definitely wipe one of these things out if you throw it inside. But otherwise, this guy's just going to be kind of driving around terrified. Don't know if he's going to get any effective fire on our men. I don't think so, but going to be a problem. So see, that Stellhandgranate was way too late. Seemed like a a late explosion. And here we go. We've got more groups, guys, approaching Korotic. And we've got to be careful. We don't want to lose even eastern Korotic. So I'm considering actually grabbing some more guys in sandbags just to put them in that area to stop the enemy from claiming it under any circumstances. Like, you know what? Maybe if I just grab a few men over here and just move them into the Korotic area. Just look at those casualties, folks. This is the initial breakthrough, of course, where we ambush them. This guy, I remember, if you guys were in the beginning of the fight, was consistently firing that MP40 right around the corner, and he killed 3 or 4 Soviets here. He did a great job, but eventually they did get him. Win a post-mortem Iron Cross. I hear gunshots, but I don't see contact. Ah, here we go. Same area, same area. They're right at the barn. Oh, they just hit one of our boys. One of our machine gunners, too. We can't have that. All right, let's just keep our distance. I see a few of them over here, too. Let's just accept they've broken in at this point. Like, 2 different areas. So we got the MG firing, we got these guys ready to fire, but again, I don't want to lose Korotic, and I feel like that's exactly what they're going for. So I could grab that thick group and send them here. Everybody thinks I'm talking about, like, thick boys, thick group. It's like a group of large gamers. They're board game enthusiasts. No, these are proper Wehrmacht. And I'm moving them in to defend Korotic, so I am going to grab quite a few of these guys and send them in. It's about time they see some fighting. Go, boys. Go. Sehr gut. A few of them are trying to get up the road. I don't know who would be crazy enough to try this, but our MG is ready. Oh, it looks like one of our boys actually went for some close combat here. Let's see who wins. Oh, the Soviet got us. The Soviet got us. He had a dagger hidden in his boot. We've got to be careful, folks. So I think we destroyed that armored car. I'm almost certain we disabled that armored car. We've got, of course, the rest of the city behind us. But we don't even want them to touch the city. The fact they've gotten this far is bad enough. Look at this. Some of our boys getting really close to the enemy. We're here in the bushes, and they're right there. Right there. Good shooting, boys. Just wiped them out. They had a nice machine gun. It looks like they were trying to bring up to the front lines. Completely eliminated it. But I just saw some smoke pop over here. That means over here there's a whole nother group of Soviets. Enemy officer there. Let's grab, actually some of Yodel's men are already arriving, so we'll let them do that. I'm not going to worry about it too much until they push Korotic, but I might just do a counterattack on this area. You know me and my counterattacks. I've gotten pretty good at them. I think most of the times they work out fairly well. Let's put it that way. This area is just packed with our units. Ambush alley, I'm going to call that. Okay. Some Stillhandgranate. And it looks like our AT gun is also targeting these guys. I just wanted to see how the battle looked there for a second without any markers. Just curious to see the damage to the town itself. Not that we care. I mean, this is Soviet Russia. You can burn some buildings down. Not a problem. Playing as the Germans. All right, here we go. Yeah, some of our boys getting quite close. It's just a matter of time since we're putting them in defense of Korotic here, Schaefer's group, and so some of them are going to reach these outer boundaries, and we may very well come into contact with the enemy sooner than we'd like. But what I want to do is make sure they are looking forward. Try again. No, we've got an issue right now. What's this? What's this? Okay, insufficient command level. I thought that was the issue. So yeah, we have an insufficient command level now. All we can do is hope that our defenses hold. Over time, we will regain some of that command level, of course, but we actually have to wait. You can actually see the growth here. So for now, we've done what we can. Let's hope that Mundweil and his boys can hold on, and then we want to change the trajectory of Schaefer's units. Looks like some of Schaefer's units are already making contact from this Dachau. Now turn into a little firing point for us. Usually, since we tend to play with the Germans a lot, we are facing the Dachau firing the machine gun. Now we actually get to be inside of it. Although we know fairly well that one well-placed Molotov, hell, one poorly placed Molotov, and that thing is going to be a problem. Now look at this! I didn't even notice they broke through on this side, the west, guys. This is the area we set up sort of a provisional force just in case, and sure enough, they came right for us, played us like a fiddle, man. We've got a tank over here as well. My goodness. Don't think there's anything we can do about the tank, but we are going to open up on the infantry trying to break through. That tank. Look at that tank. We got a hit on the tank. We got a hit on the tank. Oh my goodness. Did we get a kill? Did we get a kill? Guys, we just knocked out a Soviet tank. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. The fog of war is hiding a lot, but we may have just knocked out a Soviet tank. Now, where is the AT gun that would have hit that guy? It would have had to be... No, yeah, we did not knock him out. No way. He's still alive. I got too excited there for a second. Our AT gun is all the way over here, so to actually get him, we're going to have to be extremely lucky. What we really want to do is just immobilize him, just not allow him to take any points. Beautiful. Fire! Oh, this is nice. I love it, I love it, I love it. It wouldn't be hilarious, I think. Oh my goodness, guys. So this is great. Our actual mortar is getting direct hits. Direct hits on the tank. I think we might have taken the track off. Yes, we did. Man, when you don't have AT guns, use mortars. That is amazing. Probably one of the most accurate mortar crews I've seen. Then again, the enemy's right there, and they did kill the tank. Guys, if you've made it this far in the video, please comment down below. I want to see how many people got to witness a mortar knocking out a Soviet tank. Now, it wasn't a T-34. I think it's just a T-76. And it looks like he might still be alive. They got back in, so they recruit her. And now they're aiming towards the actual mortar crew. But that's just amazing. The fact that a mortar crew was actually able to get a tank to bail. Pretty incredible stuff. And it looks like he's still targeting them. Keep up the good work, son. Looks like the main front is pretty silent. Yeah, we've got a few guys trying to get over here through Schaefer's group, so thank goodness we moved Schaefer to Gorotic. But if this is all they have, we'll be able to hold this area no problem. Oh, that's what I'm telling you about the grenades. It's always a problem when you're in the houses. That Soviet got away. I thought we would get a nice kill on him. Unfortunately not. So the tank crew is back, but our mortar crew is just pinging them left and right. I mean, they saw they could get them to retreat once. Maybe they could get them to retreat again. I think it's important also maybe keep one of these guys still looking out this way. Because what if the enemy just sort of appears out of nowhere across this field? We don't really have anyone look... Actually, got this guy looking out. But I want him to kind of look like diagonally, like over here. Yeah, something like that. I can see what the Soviets were trying to do. So if we look at the map, I can kind of show you guys. This is Gorotic. In the last battle, we took all of this area, of course, pretty surprising stuff. What they wanted to do is go from Tumalisis, cut this area off at the bridge, and then it would have been easy to take us. We would have had no support. The good news is we didn't keep any units back there at all. We pushed everybody to the front. So whatever happens, kind of happens. We pretty much dedicated everybody to defending the very front lines. So I'm not sure that their approach would have worked in a battle like this. We could have probably broken out, but who knows? Who knows? They're still trying that approach with the armor over here. But I think we've got him. Ooh. Things seem very quiet. Almost too quiet, if you ask me. The tank is definitely firing back. But so far, that's all I'm seeing. I mean, unless the enemy gets wise and just completely ignores our guys here and goes straight for the bridge and the rest of Gorotic, I think we've got this victory. I hope so. I hope so. This is a really, really tight fit. I'm going to have to call it the Citadel. Just there's no breaking through. Even with the trenches we've left behind, there's no breaking through this area. In fact, I'm going to take some of Yoda's men because they're not really doing much here. I'm just going to take them and bring them back to the trench. So we'll put some of these guys back. Not all of them, of course. Oh. We just had some contact. See here. Yep, Soviets getting way too close for comfort. That's what I was worried about, see? And it looks like, yes, they did take out our mortar. He's still firing, but they killed most of the crew. I think that after they saw what we did to the tank, they were desperate to wipe out that mortar crew. So they just threw some units at it, and that worked out. All they needed to do was get one Molotov or one grenade in that hole, And it's all she wrote. Here we go. More Germans. Excuse me, more Soviets over here.
Da drüben! Über einem Anmarsch!
Well, shouldn't be too much of a problem. We are getting pings. I don't know if you guys saw that. We saw that when we actually opened up the map. We're getting pings of maps, of tanks on the map. Pardon me. Jumbled up there for a second. Tanks on the map that are near Rey Elenovka. But they're pretty far away, and we'll have a pretty good idea of where they're approaching from if they do show up. And again, I'm just hoping that time will win out here, that the enemy will realize this is not a fight they can win here, or not a fight they can win without tremendous infantry losses, and it won't matter that they have tanks. That's what we're hoping for. We actually got some really good advice in the last video from somebody about that, pretty much saying that a lot of times in GT, when you are just facing tanks as infantry, the best thing to do is pretty much retreat. So the fact that they had tanks here and we're still able to come out on top is a huge plus. And look at that. Enemies offering a ceasefire. I'm more than happy to accept it. I consider this very similar to my video, Another Day on the Front, which I highly recommend you guys check out, in that this would be quite a normal daily occurrence in a, frontline town setting on the Eastern Front. So, we weren't too badly bloodied. I mean, we certainly lost men, but I'm pretty sure we're going to come out with a decent kill-death ratio. We'll have to wait and see. And they're still trying to kill that poor mortar crew. My goodness. That's awful. 1 second before the battle ends. Now, it does count as a defeat. I'm not sure why. Actually, I think this should count as a victory. Usually, GT is very uncertain about these culminations, as it were. Nonetheless, let's take a look here. 16 killed on our side, 50 wounded. Enemy had 38 killed, 78 wounded. Did we take any prisoners? So we destroyed, this is why we lost. So since they killed some, no. We destroyed 7 of their vehicles. Okay, no, that still doesn't make sense. I was seeing if we got any of their, any guys to actually surrender. No. So no surrenders on either side, which is not something we usually have happen in these battles. But both were pretty much determined not to give up. Well, what do you guys think? And do you guys enjoy these sort of battles? Or specifically, let me know in the comments down below, what sort of Graviteam battles are your favorites? Do you like city battles where we're defending? Do you like just defensive battles in a field? Do you like offensive battles? Do you like offensive city battles? Give me an idea of what your perfect Graviteam tactics battle is so that I can make it happen in the future. Thanks again, folks.